What's going on, guys? I'm Jay the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about this Danuel House situation. Apparently, he got caught sneaking in his room for multiple hours a female CV tester. And I'm going to get into why this shows you why you shouldn't have women around multimillionaire athletes in a quote-unquote bubble. We're going to get into that, but we're also going to get into the fact that his wife has apparently deleted all photos of him on social media and is pretty much leaving the guy. And it has a lot, I would say a lot to do with this, but I think it has a lot to do with this becoming public, because I truly don't believe that this is the first time allegedly he was caught with another woman. Now, he has and still is denying that anything happened, that he snuck anyone in his room, but they wouldn't have kicked him out of the bubble if that wasn't true. Now, there are some people with some theories as to why they are being heavy-handed, as to why they are putting all of this information out here about the being in the room for 3 hours. There are some people that are saying that, this could have been the situation where, trying to help out the Lakers. I don't know about that. I just think that you have a guy who I believe made a decision that wasn't the best one. Now, according to some of these articles, as you can see, I have multiple articles here. You see there are different accounts of what could or could not have happened, right? Now you see this man here is a family man. They have 3 kids together. You just look at this situation, you would say to yourself, bro, you're willing to risk everything just to have a woman in your presence, because that's what I think it ultimately was. Because the guy is vehemently denying it. This could have been a situation of him having this girl in his room and them just hanging out. And they're in that bubble. They're not really around about it, even though I think the NBA has allowed family and friends to go to the room. So you could exit that out. I just think that if you look at what people are saying, right? I'm going to read this article first, all right? It's from TexasTakes.com. It says the NBA is ruining Danuel House's marriage and breaking up his family in order to help LeBron with his habits. I know y'all. I know what y'all gonna say. All right, but let's hear this out real quick. All right. So the NBA and every media outlet is running with the story that Danuel House, a married man, snuck a female testing employee into his hotel room and took her to Pound Town. But here's the problem with that story. It is absolutely not true and has now cost Danuel House, his family, and the Rockets' chance at a championship. Okay? Now, how do I know these rumors are not true? Simply because the employee said so. And I guess this was according to the employee. A female entered the Rockets team hotel on Monday night, passing multiple security checkpoints before being flagged for her entry, sources said. She exited the room in early hours of Tuesday morning, and the league cited the early data points that implicated 2 members of the Rockets, House and Tyson Chandler. Sources said when the female was questioned by NBA security, she did not implicate House's name and it is uncertain whether she remains on campus. Sources said she claimed to have contact with Chandler and another player not named House, according to sources. But he is the one that got caught up. He's the one that took the fall at the end of the day. Now let's read from Bro Bible. It says, not only did Danuel House get kicked out of the NBA bubble for violating the bubble protocol when he apparently allowed a woman in his hotel room for several hours, but he's now going to have to deal with his wife when he gets back home. On Friday, the NBA announced that House was being removed from the NBA bubble after their investigation showed he had allowed a woman inside his hotel room. for several hours overnight. House's wife does not seem to be taking the news very well. According to Swipe Sports, she deleted all the House pics from her Instagram. And Whitney also appeared to react to the House situation on Instagram stories. As you see here, wish all of the things you say was what you put on your display. Now, I guess these are lyrics. I'm not going to read that. But this is what she put up. And she also put up, reap what you sow. So, when I first heard this, I waited a day before I recorded this, right? Because I wanted to be in the right mind frame, and I wanted to come at this in a manner that can be sort of like an understanding and also truth. I truly believe that this guy was around this woman. Did he have relations with her? We don't know. But when you have a guy who's in a bubble, in a stressful playoff series, sometimes their minds wander, and I'm not making excuses for him. He put himself in a situation, but we have to look at all the facts. We can't just, go in on him and not examine the fact that you have a female who's denying being with him like that or doing anything with him. So we have that element. Then we have the element of the NBA coming down very heavy-handed on him. A guy who's been playing as well as he can play in the playoffs. And some people have their theories. I'm not a conspiracy. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to speak on the facts. And I'm going to speak on the fact that this guy's wife has literally turned on him due to what the NBA is deeming him being in the company of a woman. Now, again, this guy could have been messing around with his wife before and she forgave him. This is why these young guys should not be getting married if they're not ready. Okay? I know she's the mother of your kids, but at the same time, this woman seems like she's fed up. I believe she's fed up with him, and this was the last straw. This was the last straw for her, and I believe that she is using this as a ultimate, okay, I'm ready to leave. Because that's what it seems like. House has denied the accusations coming from the league, but he'll have to convince his wife that he's telling the truth because the NBA doesn't believe him. A woman entered the Rockets team hotel on Monday night, passing through multiple security checkpoints before being I read all that. This is so y'all know that the other article wasn't being too biased. This is from the Atlantic. If any of you read the Atlantic, let's see. I didn't read this part though. According to sources, the Rockets' entire team had to enter a quarantine period, which I'm pretty sure made them happy, on Tuesday due to potential exposure. Those sources said there appears to be no video connecting House and the woman, only the flagging of her entering and leaving the hotel and the possibility of a door opening and closing to match those timelines. The NBA has informed involved parties that it has circumstantial evidence implicating House. House has vehemently denied to the league that he engaged in any improper contact with the staffer. This is why you don't have these women around these athletes. These are high testosterone athletes. These are guys who are going without having relations with their girlfriends and wives and side pieces. And you're putting women in those situations where those guys may try to get with them. But I honestly believe that in this case, from everything that I've seen, I don't think he slept with her. I just think he may have made a very bad decision to allow her in his room because, again, these guys are not getting any contact from anyone on the outside. They're not. And now his whole marriage has been put into. Now people are saying that I'm hearing conflicting reports about him being married or not married, but I'm gonna go off the premise that he's married because that's what all the articles are saying. I go with what's there, not what may be. Anyway, he has a wife and a family he has to provide for, and he's been playing his butt off in these playoffs. Okay? In this quarantine season. This bubble. I'm pretty sure he's doing that for them. He's spending time away from the family for, to play, to get that big deal to where he can really secure a future for his family. But he's in a situation now where he's having to having to answer for something that he is still denying. He hasn't apologized, because trust and believe, if he had done something, he would have apologized. Now, I know he don't want to upset his wife. I believe he may have been with other women while being with his wife. But at the end of the day, if he is denying it, if he's saying, you know what, I'm not going to apologize because I didn't do anything wrong. If he did something wrong, what he did was he basically broke the rules about having people in his room that shouldn't have been there. He did break rules. Whether he had relations with her or not, according to the NBA, he broke rules. So because he broke those rules, he now has to take accountability for what is going on right now. He has to basically say, you know what, I may have had her in my room, but nothing went on. That's going to be something him and his wife deal with. But it seemed to me that his wife has already dealt with this before. It seemed like she already had one foot out the door with this situation. She's probably waiting for him to, I'm telling you, she's waiting for him to get that big contract. She waiting for him to have that big contract, man. That's what I believe. That's why she's hanging in there. She's hanging in there because she's waiting on that big deal. But she might have said enough is enough. Now, she's not a bad looking woman at all. Okay? She is not a bad looking woman at all. And I don't think she would have any problems getting another guy. Listen, people, listen, guys. If you have something to lose, whether it be you getting kicked out of the bubble, whether it be your marriage, you have to think clearly, man. You got to think clearly. You cannot put yourself in a situation where you could lose everything you have, because the Rockets could say, you know what, we're done with you, bro. You already have a situation where James Harden is basically saying, yeah, this situation hurt us. You got James Harden, one of the best, probably the best player on the team, saying, you know what, yeah, this, him not being here, it really affected us. And James Harden is the one of the decision makers on the team. And if he don't want you there, you're not going to be there. And this situation could definitely make James Harden go to management and say, you know what, man, we can't do nothing with this guy trading. Because if he's publicly saying that this guy not playing affected them, that's not good. Because the way that they went out against the Lakers with Russell Westbrook melting down, we could see some more changes. But I think the biggest change needs to come from him, from Daniel. That's where the biggest change can come from. I think he can look at this situation and learn a lot from it from himself. That no matter what, you can't put yourself in a situation where you could lose a lot. The NBA feels like you did something. Whether you had relations with her or not, doesn't matter. You had her in your hotel room. And that's the only thing they care about. Did you have someone around you that shouldn't have been? This is why you don't have women in these bubbles with these athletes. Because one of these guys, all it takes is one, can get tempted enough to try to get with these women. Because do you think these women are going to say no to spending time with these guys? That's why discipline in these situations are needed. because you're counted on by your teammates, you're counted on by your family to keep things going in the right direction. You know?